Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today I'm going to be doing my Reindeer Readathon wrap-up, aka my December wrap-up. So for those of you that just saw my other video, as you can see, I'm still wearing my pizza sweater. I'm just gonna keep wearing my pizza sweater because I'm super cozy and it's cold outside. So yeah, I'm also filming this back to back, but I'm sure you figured that out by now. So yeah, I'm gonna do my wrap up from the Reindeer Readathon. I actually did pretty well during the Reindeer Readathon. Usually I only get like 4 to 5 books. This time I think I got 6. So yeah, I'm saying I think because I actually don't remember. I have the pile here, so like I'm gonna find out if like as I go through it. But yeah, I feel like I did pretty well this time. So yeah, I'm very excited to share my thoughts with you guys. And yeah, sorry if the video's all over the place too. I'm all over the place right now. So yeah. Anyways, the first book that I'm going to talk about is actually one book from November, so it's not even December. And that book is The Rivals of Casper Road. So this is a gay romance book about two guys who are like rivals. But anyways, one of the characters moves in next door from this character. So the burly lumberjack guy, he's the one that moves in to the house next door, and he has a dog. And he finds out that his neighbor across the street is an architect who works from home, and he's very competitive. So the neighbors let this guy know that they have this annual Halloween decorating contest, and his neighbor, the architect, wins every year. And so they get a little bit of banter going back and forth between each other, and he tells him that he's going to compete against him and be his like rival to win this Halloween competition. And so from there the story like continues, and they find that as they're trying to compete against each other, they're doing like little prank wars with each other, which is actually really funny. They find that they don't necessarily hate each other as much as they think they do, and from there it continues. I thought it was really cute. I really enjoyed this one, and it's very like seasonal. It was perfect for, well, I mean, I read it in November, but it was perfect for like an October read if you want to get prepared for Halloween, but you want like the cutesy vibes, not necessarily the scary vibes. Then this is definitely one you should check out. I've read a Christmas version of one of Rowan Parrish's books, and I really liked that one too. So I feel like this is an author that I do enjoy in the romance genre, and yeah, I would definitely have you guys check it out if you want a male romance that's like seasonal. So yeah, I would probably give this one, I don't know if it's like full on 5 stars. I would give it like a 4 stars. Yeah, but a solid 4 stars. Okay, then jumping into my Reindeer Readathon TBR, I don't know which books went with which prompts because I don't know where my notebook is, but I'm just going to go through them. So the first one is Arch Conspirator by Veronica Roth, and I was very excited about this one because it's Veronica Roth, and I haven't read anything by her since I read Divergent. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Let's jump into her adult stuff and see how it goes. And it's a novella, so I thought it would be like pretty quick. And it did. Like, I did read it pretty quickly, but I did not connect with any of the characters. And that was kind of disappointing to me because I really wanted to connect with her characters and I really wanted to enjoy this book. I still thought it was okay. Like, I would give it probably like a 3 stars, but I would say it's like a low 3 stars. I can't even really tell you what the premise is of this. It's like they're in a dystopian world, and the main character, her father and her mother died, and so she is now living under like her uncle's house, and her uncle is like the ruler of this society, but they can like take the essence out of a body once the person dies and like store it so that it can be like brought back later on or something like that. And then I don't know, she does something that like goes against her uncle and like everything her uncle stands for, and gets punished for it. And it's just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And it didn't really feel like there was a solid ending to it either. So I don't know. I didn't really connect with anybody. I didn't really feel like the plot was there. And yeah, so that's why it's kind of like a low 3 star for me. I was hoping for more just because of like the past books that I've read by this author, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have to give some of their other works another shot, because I do have some other books that are by Veronica Roth that are like adult books. So yeah, we'll see. I'll jump into those and maybe it'll be different. But yeah, this one just wasn't it for me. Also, thank you to Tor for sending this to me. They sent this as a complimentary copy, and I really appreciate it because I was very excited to read it. Next up, I jumped into Pregnant Princess in Manhattan. You guys know I like my Harlequin books around Christmas time. And so I was reading this one because this one has Christmassy vibes to it. It's a pregnant princess in Manhattan during Christmas, and there's Christmas trees on the front. So I was like, cool, it's going to be Christmassy. And there was a little bit of Christmas to it, but it wasn't that big of a factor. And so that was kind of a bummer. I mean, I know it's going to be centered around the romance. I was just hoping for like a magical, like Hallmarky vibe, but it was not like that. And it was very different. And I found that their relationship was kind of like, I don't know, the way it all went down seemed very unrealistic, which, I mean, it's fiction, so it makes sense, but it was, I don't know. I feel like if I was the main character of this book, I would feel very differently about the situation. Yeah. So I guess I could tell you like the beginning premise. So these two end up meeting at a bar because this princess wants to get away from like doing her like daily duties of being a princess and just be normal for a day. So she goes to a bar for some reason. And well, I guess it's more like a nightclub. It's not really like a bar per se, but she goes to the nightclub and she meets this gentleman at this nightclub. And so the two of them connect and end up hitting it off and go back to his place, have a one-night stand, and part ways. He doesn't know that she's a princess. She doesn't know that he's rich. And so they do their thing, wrap it up, part ways, but then she ends up getting pregnant. And so from there, they have to like connect and figure out what to do about this. Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of odd, the situation that they went in, and then how he reacted to certain things was interesting. I know I would be acting very differently if I was in that situation, but yeah. So yeah, I would probably give this like a 3 stars. It was solid, right in the middle. Wasn't bad, wasn't great, just in the middle. So yeah. I also read a book with Marcus, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was this like book about like spirit animals, and we listened to it on audio when we were doing many of our car rides. And that one, I think it was a middle grade. I think the author was Brendan Mull. I can't remember what it's called though. But anyway, I'll put a picture of it here. This one was just kind of like okay for me. Like I felt like everything was super predictable, and I don't know. I didn't really like vibe with the audiobook that much. It was one single narrator she was like trying to do different voices, but wasn't really pulling it off that well, in my opinion. But like the predictability of it was kind of the part that bothered me, because I was like, this is so easy to figure out. Mind you, it is a middle grade, so like it makes sense, but I don't know, it just wasn't for me. The next book I read was Lie in Plain Sight. So this was a thriller. And so this is following a woman who she hires somebody on to work at her bakery, and they get a phone call at the bakery for the woman that she hired. Her daughter is not feeling well, and the nurse from the school is asking if her daughter can go home. And so because that woman that she hired is out on a delivery and she's the only one there, she gives the nurse permission to let the daughter go home because their house is only like a 5-minute walk from the school. So that happens. And then as the day progresses, the daughter does not go home. They don't know where she went. And from there, it kind of turns into like a missing persons thing. And the daughter's gone, and everybody's blaming this owner of the bakery because she's the one that said that she could go home. And she let her, like, gave the permission for her to do it. And now that daughter is missing. And so she takes it upon herself to try and jump into this investigation and try and find the daughter herself, because she doesn't feel like the police are going to do a good enough job. So she jumps into an investigation, and from there we go. I felt during this book like there were past books before it. And I really should have looked up the book before I read it, because this is actually the third book in a series. And I was like, this main character seems to have all this knowledge and keeps referring to like these past situations that I feel like I should know about, because it's acting as if the reader already knows these things. It's so weird. And then like thinking, like, I kept thinking that, and then I get to the end and I was like, okay, whatever. It was like a 3-star like thriller book. The ending wasn't too surprising or anything. But then I went and looked it up and I was like, oh my god, this is the third book in a series, and I just jumped into the third book without reading the first two. So no wonder it felt so disconnected to me. But yeah, that was my experience with this. I did not do my research right away. I also did find the main character to be like a little boring. It was trying to like play her up to be like this badass, but I don't know. It wasn't really like pulling it off very well. So yeah, I don't know. It does definitely show like the relationship between a teenager and their parent, though. It does that really well, especially like a teen mom and a teen daughter. Yeah, that relationship was exactly how it would be in real life. So that was believable for sure. But yeah, I don't know. The ending was just kind of like lackluster, and I was trying to like puzzle along to figure out what was going on. I didn't figure it out. Like, it was, I was surprised when I did get to the end, but it wasn't like a huge surprise or anything. It was just like, oh, okay, that's it. All right. And then moving on. Yeah. So 3-star. To be fair, this is one that I picked up from a bargain bin. So yeah. The next one that I read was a 5-star read, and that was Keep This Off the Record by Rising Action Publishing Company. So this is an arc that they sent me. They were also one of our sponsors for the readathon, and this one was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. I loved it. The banter in this book is spot on. So this is following 2 high school rivals who reconnect at their high school reunion. One of them is Freya, and the other one is Abby. So Abby was kind of like the nerdy girl in school, and Freya was like the popular girl with like the 2 like lackeys that followed her around all over the place. And these 2 girls despised each other. And so when they meet again at the high school reunion, those like same fiery sparks between them are just like firing off, and they are not having it. And so the story goes from there, because her friend, Abby's best friend, connects with Freya's producer, because she brings him with her to the reunion. So those 2 kind of like have a connection, and so they end up starting to date. And so because they start dating, it's bringing these 2 into close proximity with each other often, because those are the people they care about in their lives, and so they're obviously going to be a part of their lives as well. And so they keep getting put into different situations where they have to be civil with each other and just, yeah, like converse, be people. And it's so much fun. The main character and her best friend have a good rapport, and then they also have the main character's sister and another friend that's non-binary in their like group of 4. And the non-binary friend is so dramatic and hilarious. I loved that character. They were so much fun, and they just kept throwing in these one-liners that I found myself like snorting at, because it was just funny. But yeah, I had such a good time with this book. It was really adorable, honestly, and it read so quickly. Like, I didn't feel like I wanted to put it down ever. I was just having such a fun time with it. So yeah. Oh, and also she's a therapist, and she is like this famous like news reporter. So that also threw some chaos into the situation, because like having different interactions with this person who is kind of like famous puts you in the spotlight as well. So that was very interesting. It also highlighted the main character's Jewish heritage as well, which was really cool. I found that really refreshing, because I don't find that in many books. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, you guys should definitely check out this book. I believe it comes out at the end of January. I want to say January 30th. I don't know if that's exactly right, but definitely check it out when it comes out. You guys should go pick this up, because I think you will like it. Okay, the last book I read was A Court of Mist and Fury, and this one I finished on New Year's Eve. Like, it took me right up to New Year's Eve to finish this book because this one was a chunker. It's huge for me. So this one, I think I would give this one 4 out of 5 stars. I thought that the beginning was a little bit slow because it was a lot of just like Feyre being in the castle and kind of like doing her own thing, but like everybody avoiding her kind of thing. So I don't know. I found like that first little bit to be a little slow and it slagged a bit. But then once things started happening and Rhysand showed up, well, that's when we actually got some action and I was right into it. There's so many like new characters introduced in this one too. And you get to like delve into the night court, which is very interesting, and see like all the inner workings of that area. So I had a lot of fun learning about that. And I definitely want to read more of the series because my favorite, I call her my favorite character, but she's like barely in it. But I really like, what's her name? Feyre's sister, Nesta. I like her. She's just such a like stubborn, bold character, and she like doesn't take like crap from anybody, and I love it. So yeah, I definitely want to see more of that character, and I hope they come back in the series. I think they do. I'm pretty sure they do. But yeah, I did really enjoy this one. There was lots of action, and it like really explored more of the world and like the relationship dynamics. And yeah, all I know is I hate Tamlin. And I even like said something about that. I think I put like an Instagram story out saying like, are we supposed to like this guy? Because he's not great. And everybody was like, yeah, no, we don't like him. So that was very validating. But yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing this series. I know the next one is also like a 700-page book. So I don't know. Maybe I'll push myself to jump into it sooner rather than later. So I actually like commit to reading it and read it while I'm still like familiar with the storyline. But yeah, this one was fun. And those are all the books that I read in the month of December and that one in November. But yeah, it was a great Reindeer Readathon this year. I had a lot of fun and I'm glad I got through all those books. Let me know if you've read any of those books in the comments down below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on the ACOTAR series because I know a lot of you will have thoughts on it. So definitely share those in the comments down below. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and Ko-fi page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as links by my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.